Also, if you can't hear us, please let us know so we can talk up loud. Forgive me, sometimes I do speak loud, sometimes I don't. So if we can't be heard, we might need to turn off the AC for a little bit if we can't be heard. But it should be a short meeting. We do have enough members for a quorum. With that being said, why don't we stand for pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You want to do a prayer, can you? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Do it.
Father God, we come in front of you with our final budget meeting, and we ask you for knowledge and for wisdom, and so that they may be a successful meeting. Thank you, Father, that we pray in your name.
Amen. Thank you. We appreciate it. Reminder, Dina. Thank you. So, moving on, number 2. Stephen, do we need approval for this month's meeting agenda or the previous one? Or do we go with what we have? Can you hear me?
Only one page.
Kenya, if you would, can you shut that off, please? We're not gonna be that long. Steve, can you hear us? Testing, can you hear us? Technical difficulties. You're muted if you're speaking. You're muted if you're speaking. All right, we'll work through that. We don't have any open, we'll come back to number 2 here in a minute. We have no public comments that we know of. Is there anything that Dina, do you know, or anybody within our team, is there anything that we need to discuss on this 3rd budget meeting here for Central County Water Control District on August 26, 2025?
When it came Friday to go over the numbers.
No, so I'm back. Sorry, folks.
We can hear you loud and clear. I have a question for you. In reference to number 2,
Go ahead.
in reference to number 2, approval of meeting agenda, I'm assuming that's for this night's meeting's agenda, or is it for the previous one?
No, this would be approval of the current workshop agenda.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Stephen,
Yeah,
there's
but if
really,
anybody had any additions,
gotcha.
go ahead.
Does anybody have any additions, deletions, or substitution to tonight's agenda?
Is it a mistake here, 25, 26, or it's supposed to be 26, 25?
It's 25, 26, because it starts
Oh,
October,
that's right, that's the.
October 1st, so it's
Yeah.
October 2020, it's October 1st,
The date,
25.
okay, got it,
Yep.
I got it confused.
That's how most budgets, most county cities work. So yeah, it would be fiscal year 2025 or 2026.
I just confused 25,
That's
26,
all
right
right.
to the other.
That's all right.
Thank you.
So with none, we'll stay with that agenda. Dina, you got the floor?
The only number that he said that I should ask about at the budget meeting was the Culver grant income. And she said that's money that's outlaid and repaid by the grant. And she said you come up with the number here. Last year it was 40,000.
Refresh my memory one more time. Say it one more time, Dina, sorry.
The income section of the budget is
Income section.
Culver grants. I made it in yellow on the budget sheet.
Covert grants,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's money you pay out to do repairs and it's
Yes, ma'am.
repaid to you by the grant. And she said you, or the board decides roughly how much they wanna put out.
So the problem that we have with that being is we put out money for probably like a year and a half, and we haven't seen any return.
She told me that it hasn't, so did you wanna lower it, keep it?
It's up to the board for discussion. So what,
How much money can we put out?
I think we have up to date around 60,000 out
I
there.
feel like that's what she said.
roughly around 60,000, and we haven't recouped any, to date from that, grant.
Do we have an idea when that money should be coming in, or,
We've been waiting on that money for the last 3 or 4 months,
um?
right? Give or take?
Next
I know you guys shared some times in the past meetings since you've been on board.
The question would be, do we put that money as a revenue income to, of the,
Yeah,
It's not
last
really
year,
income though.
last year you had it as 40,000, so when I was going line by line with her of what stayed the same increases or decreases, that was one of the ones I had a question on. She explained what it was and then said that it would be something decided here.
But it's not income, Dina.
It
Right.
goes in your revenue for this money
It
comes
will
in.
be a revenue.
There's expenses down in the bottom that offset it.
How can it be a revenue if we put
well,
that
not
money?
revenue, sorry.
It's a wash, a wash. It's
But it's still, it gets
Yeah,
reported as revenue,
I got
it's
you.
still coming in.
Gotcha,
And the expenses get
Yeah.
reported down.
And that's when it gets washed.
gotcha, right, understood.
My suggestion would be to bring it up to 60,000 out of 40,000, since, you know, if we agree on that figure, let's not be on the lower side. That's my suggestion.
So here's my question is, we've tested the waters, and the way this grant works, we haven't received anything from it, so I don't know how this is gonna work. I know maybe eventually we'll get it, but
But at least we know, I mean, we got a figure there that it will come sooner or later, but at least we know X amount of dollars. Let's not be on the low side, because I prefer to be, you know, roughly close to what we spent. I mean, that would be
so if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about the 1.6 million grant that we received, that we're working collectively with Henry County, if I'm not
with the
mistaken.
last, what, 2 years?
I'm not sure of that would be Rebecca. She
I
said
think
it was a
different, I
grant.
thought you
yeah,
were different,
like,
it's COVID, correct?
We have to know which one we're talking about. It could be the $4 million one, sorry, it could be the $4 million one, and, cause the one for one, sorry, the one with 1.6 has to do with the pump station. So it has to be the 4.0, the one that we received. My only thing with that one is, again, I'm not against it. Do we have, if we did put money aside, Dina, is it there?
The budget is less this year with, even with some expenses increasing, because the prior year carry forward is
Sure.
lower than the year prior,
Okay,
but yeah, it's there.
so we do have it there.
What do you mean the budget is low, is the total revenue coming in is low?
And expenses going up. Because last year you had a 1.8 million carryover of the revenue section, which you have contingency to offset, so the budget equal, or zeroes out.
Yeah.
Balance.
So this year, the carryover, she said that number comes from, she said it changes from this to the end of September, because she said, her and John said it comes from the end of September's financials.
Yes,
So I put a number in there as of July's financials,
Sure.
and it's about 536,000.
Wow. So we're way under budget then, by 5, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Under,
Almost 1.2.
as of the end of
That's July, so you still have August, September,
Correct.
to finish out the fiscal year.
I don't know if we're under budget, because they're including that carry forward from the previous year, which was 1.5, so we burned through that.
Gotcha.
As of the end of July, you're under budget 383,
380.
but you had that 1.8 of carryover.
Gotcha. Understood.
So if it wasn't for that carryover, we'd be what? Probably over $1 million over.
About 9.
Yeah, from 1.1.
And so putting all the numbers in without that 40,000, the budget went from 5.5 million to 4.1.
And that 4.1 was what we did last year Does it look like we have enough to do what we did last year?
When I sat with her, we had the end of July financials to see year-to-date for each one. And then she kinda knows more than I do about the day-to-day business. And I don't have,
Is she on it, by any chance? So my question would be, because, every year, like most organizations, you do cost of living, cost of that kind
we
of stuff,
did for
so,
most contract stuff, we did like 5 to 7% increases.
so that's included
Mm-hmm,
in this fiscal year's budget.
mm-hmm.
And what roughly number did you guys come up with for this fiscal year?
Did you get this sheet?
We
Is
did,
everybody looking at this?
no, we didn't.
Is it possible to make copies real quick? If not, I don't know where it scribble on it. So what was the question? Scribble one?
For fiscal year 2025, 2026, what do we have proposed for numbers?
4.4 total, and then we have to kind of go down each one. She increased the maintenance of roads and rebuilding of roads and kind of lowered the capital outlay amount and increased the maintenance one so that things could get done quicker. Supplies, we put a slight increase on. When we did the payroll, she accounted for increases and bonuses. Contracts, we assumed like a 7% increase. Engineer and attorney and auditor and accountant. I think attorney, accountant, and engineer, she had contract numbers for. The auditor, she just increased it 2,000 because there wasn't like a proposal from them.
Approximately, an approximate number?
17.
No, I'm just saying she put approximate
Oh,
number.
yeah.
So let me ask you, Dana, in reference to, you're saying fiscal year 2025, proposed 2025, 2026, you're looking at 4.4, and then you say coming in, we have, what's our?
4.4 to offset.
Okay.
Taxes stayed the same, because that was already approved, so that income stayed the same. I believe we lowered the prior year's tax amount, because I asked John like where that number came from, and he kind of said it was a guess. So far since I've been here, there's been like $1,255 of prior year taxes. So I think that number was lowered. Lowered, I don't need the sheet, but it's either dirt sales or miscellaneous, which is permits. One of those, she lowered slightly because you haven't been selling as much dirt, I think.
Correct.
And then the last income number I needed was that grant money of what you expect to bring in from that.
So, I guess the biggest thing, then, so we're looking at, if everything goes right in this fiscal year, we should break even. But let me ask the board
Well,
this.
that's the goal, but, well, you don't wanna break
No, I
even
would
every
say
year,
that's not the.
but your budget
Balance.
has to break
Balance.
even.
Where's our reserve at? Is that the carry forward, or is that on a separate, item?
Is that is that what's in,
So I think what he's trying to mention is
is
that
that what's in the other bank that's not for a thing?
that's what I'm saying. I think that's what he's making mention, is where's, how can I put it? Is that contingent with, so we're supposed to bring in how much this, with taxes and everything, how much is proposed to be brought in?
4.1.
Okay, so that's the 4.1 we're gonna see starting November.
No, that's not 4.1.
Huh?
Tax revenue is 3.3.
Are you talking about just tax revenue
Yeah,
or
he's
all?
talking about the tax revenue.
The same as last year, 3.379.
All right, so, okay, right here, right, okay, 3.4 mil. So, and then where's the other part of it coming from?
The other revenue,
Yes, ma'am.
golf tournament proceeds, interest, vending machine income, that Culver grant money, dirt sales,
But that
and
culvert,
permits.
but that culvert money, that's not really, that's pretty much a wash because we used it.
Yeah, I think it's that miscellaneous income, which I think that's probably gonna end up being the reserve. That
The
1.8.
miscellaneous income, she said, is what people pay for permits and stuff like that.
No, not that miscellaneous. Oh, no, I'm looking at the prior year budget at carry forward.
John said that that's the amount from the audit and from the financials ending September 30th. That was the overage of the prior budget.
Yeah.
So that's why I have it in yellow here, because once we have financials for the end of September, that number could be more or less.
Yeah, I wanna say, I don't remember the audit report, but I think the audit report I believe that was our,
So he's asking also, where's the funds in the other banks that we have?
Those are on the balance sheet. But those aren't used for everyday expenses, so it says, is it US Century Bank? That has 804,000 in it,
is that the only big amount that stands out?
besides the operating account that has 1.27.
Yeah, I think I wanna say our reserve was like 1.5, 1.8, and that's why that number kinda stands out to me. And that's what I'm a little concerned about, because it looks
I
like,
also haven't really received anything for US Century. Rebecca doesn't really have access to it, she has to get statements from John and Marie. But in QuickBooks, there's 804 in it.
It's like a savings account, something like that.
And I think a large payment might have just been made out of that, the loan payment for 70,000. Do you guys not have this either?
what's that, at the bottom, the 990, the contingency expenses?
990?
Yeah.
Oh, so that is the line item that helps the budget offset so that they balance out.
Yeah, I think that's where our,
So last year it was 2 million to get your expenses to the 5.5 to offset the top. So that's why that one's in yellow, because whatever changes in those two yellow boxes will affect that
yeah,
one.
So some of this money also will go away more drastically, like for instance, when you're looking at the numbers all the way to level like 511 security for reservoir, we don't really have security for reservoir anymore, so that number, if we do use it, it's gonna be, you know, a minimum, so that'll be 50 going back into,
Yeah, she had me put a 0 in that one.
oh, got you. Good, yep, okay, yeah, I see it now, sorry.
so wouldn't that be the carryover, that 2 million that's there at the bottom? That wouldn't be the carryover?
Yeah.
No?
That's kind of a fictitious number of,
Yeah, to offset it.
to offset that
So
for
where,
that past year.
so where are you getting the 536 from on the current year? The
Looking
estimate?
at the profit and loss, what, net income as of July 31st was that number. So I put that in there. It will change come September.
So that number will be lower,
Could be higher, could be lower, whatever taxes come in.
no, taxes don't come in, they don't start coming into
Any prior year taxes, more golf proceeds,
delinquents, well, the golf will hit, no.
dirt sales, any other income that comes in will offset that.
But it'll be at a minimum, it's not gonna be like a big thing, because most taxes, the bigger ones come in, the most come in start November. So anything coming in now is like people that are delinquent. or
Well,
something.
that income will also go up 140,000 miscellaneous for the property sales.
Oh, that's right,
Those will come in
And
this
the
budget
equipment.
year.
and the equipment sales as well.
Thing was throwing me off too, is these are all the budgets, you don't have the actual for the prior year on next to it, right? Or our current year actuals. Now, they're not, here's what I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
So when I have my reports ready, Does Rebecca send them out to you, or am I supposed to email all of you guys?
You usually, I would say you probably utilize her.
Okay,
I think she sends everything out, she collects everything.
because I sent a treasurer's report that has all the financials of the profit and loss, if you guys wanna take mine and kind of look at it, and then,
Yeah, I'm sure it's good. I'm a little confused. So the total expense right now is 2.029. Total for expense,
that sounds about right.
yeah. Cause it's on the column one WC, what's?
No, that's, so look at the last column,
The
that's
total?
the total. The
2.9?
first column is water control expenses, second is rec, and third is government, and then the last one is total.
2.9. Dean, I foresee an issue as well in reference to this 4 mil grant. When we do get started for it, and I think I said it in the beginning, how are we going to make sure that this project continues to move as they really start working? Where is this
So I
money
have
gonna come from?
notes from when I met with Becky, and she was saying maybe get a loan or a line of credit for about 3 million. That would kind of cover it, and then the grant money coming in would pay that loan off.
Yes, I see the totals here at the back. So we got the budget of 5.5, says total expenses actual right now 2.9, which is that number that,
Mhm.
okay.
Up to date.
Yeah, that's up to
July.
July. So we got what, August, September, 2 more months?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's 3 million, so that's 2 million.
So 500 comes from,
So 300 grand a month.
so that's the number in there, the total net operating income.
Yeah. That's what projected to be spent on the last 2 months, right? Basically, that 536.
That's,
Compared to actual
Yeah.
versus budget,
mhm.
yeah.
I don't know what expenses are that come out for.
Yeah, looks like we're doing like 300 grand a month.
So the most common would be employee fees,
Yeah.
401, or
So they're averaging
retirement.
about like, payroll was like 20 a week, the fees and stuff for the retirement is like 13 a month.
Yeah. Can you get more details on the, maybe for us, maybe tomorrow, more details on the, our reserve?
Oh, on your reserve?
Yeah, cause I wanna make sure we're good on that. I got a bad feeling about it, but I wanna make sure we're good on it. 'Cause-
Wait, so what is it? It's $4 million, is
No.
that the grant or?
No, we have like a reserve,
Bank account.
and it may be in the same bank account, I don't know if it's separate or not, but it may be, but I know our last audit, which was what was it, 23, 24 audit? Or it was a 23, 24 audit, I think our budget, our reserve as of that moment, it was 1.5 or 1.8, something like that. I don't remember the exact amount, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because according to our auditor, we're at the borderline of being good. Anything below is getting kinda, on the bad side, so I wanna make sure this is not accounting for that reserve, because if it's accounting for the reserve, it looks like we're gonna eat our reserve at the end of 2 months. Looking at the
So
numbers,
see what the reserve balance is, and then which bank it's in.
and see if it's included in this, is where I'm getting at, if it's,
No, in that is just stuff I've handled, so that's just the operating account, first checking, and expenses from the starting balance and regular operating.
but I'm saying, I just wanna make sure it hasn't been, over time, we've been carrying it over as a prior year budget to carry forward. That's what I wanna understand, because if it is, then it's been included on our budget this whole time as an income.
Well, John said, my notes here, the prior year budget carried forward is the budget versus actual report, which is what you were looking at as of September 30th.
Yeah, no,
So that would be operating money, I would assume that.
and that's what I'm getting at, because I don't think we've ever had like a separate, as far as I remember, I don't think we've had like a separate, reserve account, because either way, it has to be accounted somewhere, and I believe that's what it is. Over the years, it's been a prior year carry forward. I just wanna make sure because if it's that, and our new budget, we're looking at 536, and that kinda puts us a little tight,
Okay.
real tight.
Yeah, I'll email Rebecca and John and Marie. Were there any questions on expenses?
On the payroll, did we verify the totals to make sure that makes sense as far as the total numbers? Because last year first thing that caught my mind is month one, we were over budget.
Rebecca gave me the numbers.
So we got that kind of, as far as actual wages and everything like that.
I think it went down a little because there were less employees.
I think either way, we should be budgeting for a full head count.
How many employees are full?
That's,
That's Rebecca.
yeah, but I would think in the budget, you should be including full head count. Cause if there is an opening, the goal is to fill it as soon as possible. I don't wanna but that's kind of I don't know if that was the issue before, but there was an issue with the first month of the budget, we were over on salaries, once you kind of, I think it was like 20, 30 grand over on salaries month one of the current budget.
Looks like it might be, based on 20,000 a week, that would put it at 1,040,000 instead of 800,000.
So where I would kind of capture that total is, if you can get with Becky, get all the actuals, and then if there's an approved position that's open, I don't know if we filled there was a guy that, with the grader, I don't know if that's the only one that was open. It's still open? Yes, sir. Yeah, so I would calculate, maybe use his last salary when he left, his last wages, and use that to as a filler, for the budget. Just to get an understanding, and maybe look at what we did on overtime this current year and use that number to kind of,
We put them
Yes,
together because, the ADP report didn't break out overtime. So I can go over that with her.
yeah, even if it's just some formula or something in Excel, just to kind of, I just want to make sure we're as close as possible, because I wasn't too excited with the way it looked the first month. That's why I'm bringing it up, because that may be the biggest thing that's hurting us here. I didn't even look at what
Tennessee on 556. I don't know if you can break it down, but so we have 100K. I don't even know what that's for.
What do you mean, which one?
556, other contract services, we have 100K. I mean, when we do 25, 26, I'd like to know what.
I can print out a report and separate it by like vendor or whatever for that line item when we go over stuff.
Yeah, so you're talking about 565, which is the wages and OT at 800,000, that's what we're making reference to.
Mhm.
Being the actual, not the actual number.
Yeah, as close as possible to the, I just wanna make sure we double check that, we're not undercutting ourselves in what's reality and what, you know.
Right.
What, I'm looking at your, did you said these are as of July? So for 565, for total wages and taxes and insurance, it shows 164.
There are also my starting balances from John wasn't broke down as I have it broken down to keep it cleaner of knowing what's for their insurance, what's for their wages,
Yeah.
what's for the payroll taxes. So as of July,
As of the end of July.
so my starting number as of the end of June,
So she started from,
So 164 is only for July.
no, that's only July's numbers.
Okay.
Unless you're looking at the year-to-date one. I put in there the monthly for just July and then year-to-date.
Yeah, I think I was looking at the wrong one. Yeah, so we're at 923 right now, on that one, on budget at 1.2.
so, Dina, let me ask you a question. So I believe an email came through, at least I received an email tonight with some equipment, right, some equipment. So my question is that included in this budget here? In this budget,
What equipment are you talking about?
so I have, let me see.
Equipment that he's buying or so?
Correct. Proposed equipment, I see a mower, I see a gooseneck dump trailer, I see a skid steer, I see tractors. So, where is that gonna be noted?
That
Or,
should be, since those are probably big purchases, they would have been in the capital outlay
So-
section.
gotcha. But it wouldn't be for current year, right? It wouldn't be in here, it'd be for the new one?
I'm not sure when she's been done buying them.
Gotcha. Yeah, cause she would have already purchased it by now. The end of the fiscal year.
So yeah, it would have been down at the bottom in the 800 account.
Gotcha. So for instance, that dump truck, 821,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't get purchased in this fiscal year. So, am I assuming that 220 is gonna stay in the general fund? Or the 800?
So when you don't use something, it kind of just carries over as a whole number, and it can be redistributed however you want the next year. She kept that number the same.
Understood. Alright, but we didn't purchase any dump truck, right?
I don't think she said you did.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would have known. We would have seen it, we've been buying it.
Yeah, see, some of this stuff, like, I'm going back to 565.
Mhm.
And if you look at our payroll taxes, our budget, and I think you're just trying to break it down on your side, because it looks like it wasn't broken
There
down
was
before.
just one lump sum before.
Yeah, but I think on yours, you have 30 grand, and so far we spent 62 grand in payroll tax.
I could readjust those numbers. I was just trying to
Yeah,
put a rough estimate in there.
yeah. But those are kind of the things that I would like to get, as close as possible, because I think I think out of anything, the contracts, the outside contracts, like with some of our vendors and then payroll. should
That
be-
one went down a little bit because there was some stuff I noticed that was being coded to that actually was more repairs for equipment.
Mhm.
And I told Becky that it should go under 585 instead, because even though you have a contract with like, let's say Napa, it's not a contract service, it's a repair on equipment. And then we'll be able to, once I have the equipment list, kind of break that, I can print a report showing that 585 account, which piece of equipment it was for.
Okay. Yeah, that's my big one, just that, if we can confirm on that, that reserve, and having a little concern.
Okay, I'll ask about the reserve and then I have, the only leases I've seen are July's report, so once I get, August as well, I'll have 2 months of comparison to kind of see how it runs, and then I can update those numbers.
Okay. And looks like we received most of our tax revenue already, right? There's not a whole lot of,
It's, if anything, it's a few delinquents.
yeah.
It's gonna be a few, it's gonna be, it ain't gonna be like 100,000 or 200,000.
Mhm.
Most of them getting done between November and May-ish, it usually happens.
Looks
I
like
think the largest I'm seeing in like,
In the beginning of our fiscal years, when we'll see the jump.
yeah, it looks like most of them hit already, cause it's kind of the same as your, budgeted amount.
the budget amount is the same as last year, because these guys didn't raise it.
Yeah.
Right, we raised it.
No, I'm saying the actual,
Mm-hmm.
looks like it's, most of it's already there. Yeah, so looks
I
like-
don't think the delinquent one is gonna be 20,000. I mean, I've only seen stuff since July 1st, but there's only been like $1,200 that came in, so
Yeah,
that
I see
might
that,
also be a number to adjust. Because the more you have an income, if it don't come in, then you're already at a loss without having spent it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like our dirt sales, I don't know why it's on there, looks like we're not even doing it. That's 20 grand that we had budgeted, so we started in the red with that, 'cause it looks like we've done, according to this, 1,100.
It might be that it wasn't coded out before, and maybe Marie and John put it in miscellaneous.
Yeah.
So I have Becky breaking it down a little bit more for me, so that might be because it's only, and you might be looking at July, cause I feel like that's
So
our
you
double
know-
June amount.
This might, these numbers, that 5 something is probably gonna go up because of the sales of the equipment, and then we got the properties, we've already closed on 2.
2 of them, right?
We closed on 2, so that should be getting.
How much other equipment are you selling? Cause I've already seen a deposit for like 6,600. Is there supposed to be more equipment than that?
No, there's quite a, I don't know the numbers, everything that sold and the amounts.
Becky can give you that.
But I just know, just last week, we just closed on 2 properties, so we have,
That's 140K. I have a note of that one. I
so
just wasn't
we
sure.
have 2, then I think there's another one, we have a contract on the 3rd one coming up. So that's 3 of the 4. So the 2 that sold, we roughly pulled in about 38-ish, 39.
About 40.
apiece.
About
Almost
80,000,
40.
yeah, 40 almost.
So that will hit the books here as well.
Mhm.
Probably in this, before we close out this fiscal
Yeah,
year.
it'll go on this. one.
Correct.
You're gonna put another line item in there on the actuals to document, to record those, like, just so that we can.
Yeah, I can.
Cause
I wouldn't put I could put a note next to it and you'll see it on the financials.
I'm not a big fan of miscellaneous income.
I could break that one out like the equipment repairs, I can.
Yeah.
A
I mean,
lot of stuff will be easier for me to explain when it's stuff that I've done,
yeah,
so I can just print out little account transactions of each of these.
yeah, I just, you know, whatever makes sense, I just, like, for example, miscellaneous income.
I asked her what miscellaneous income was, and she said it's almost 100% permits, pre-existing and new permits.
So I'm gonna call it permanent.
That's, Mine has a little,
And it's probably been done like
mine
that
has
for,
permits with a question
it
mark.
might be done like that for 50 years, you know, it's probably even before her time as well, so I don't know.
Yeah, I asked if there was anything else in
Or-
there, she said not really. Since vending machine is broken out and dirt is broken out, she said it's pretty much just permit sales.
Yeah,
It could be, no, cause in with vending machine income is the pool table rental.
it's like the miscellaneous expense, it's 20 grand in miscellaneous expense, like, I think,
I could call it permits,
I mean, it,
permits and miscellaneous.
I would probably put two, that way we have a miscellaneous income line in case something does go in there, but I'd rather have permits and, you know, and maybe record the land sales and miscellaneous income, cause we're not gonna have land sales every year.
Mm.
So it's not like it makes sense to add a land sales income, you know?
That's what I had told her, I was like, the land sales would go under miscellaneous income.
Yeah, cause it's not something, and there's no point in creating a line item for that if we're never.
And
gonna
I
use
told her
it.
you wouldn't budget for it, cause it's not something that will be consistent
No.
every year.
Yeah, I agree.
So, we'll break out miscellaneous and permits. She said most of this 80,000, or is it 50,000? We budgeted 50,000 for that. Put like 40 and 10,
For,
35,
And miscellaneous
45 and
income?
5 for miscellaneous income,
And permits, you're talking about the other,
yeah,
45 for permits.
yeah, that's fine.
at least you know where it's coming from. And that's gonna change because after you populate Monterey, after everybody puts, exactly, after everybody puts a driveway, that's done, that's done away with.
Then we're gonna start the tax for having the driveway. So that same one talking about miscellaneous expenses, our current one, we budgeted 8 grand and you got 30 grand in there. No, expense, not
Oh,
income,
expense. Which number are you looking at?
505.
Miscellaneous expenses is not the same as miscellaneous income, it's kind of the same as like the contingency. Is when something's not a repair of an equipment, when it doesn't easily fit in one of your other expense categories, it would go there. Which it doesn't really make sense to have that and the contingency, because they're the exact same account.
Yeah. So we had, you don't know what that 21,000 was on the actuals, on the miscellaneous?
Is it the 505 one?
Yeah.
I haven't quoted anything to it, so. It says Lunis, Bosch, Vega, and then Visa stuff. It just says Visa. Their reports don't give me a breakdown of like, hey, this was Cintas, hey, this was, you know, a hotel. Where QuickBooks will give that, when I hit on it, it'll tell you, hey, this is where it all went. All I have is just a name and a dollar amount. She increased uniforms a little bit, because she said with the new logo, they'll need new uniforms. That was one of the things I remember.
What uniforms, yeah, what number is it?
6:30.
Assessing fees, that was from the property appraiser, that's what they charge. Maintenance and rebuilding of the roads, that's the one we increased and lowered the capital outlay one, so that things could get done quicker.
You can put a logo on our uniforms?
We can do it however we want to, though.
I'm just wondering.
You can do it however you want to, you can still say CC,
That's what I was wondering.
CCWCD. That's just a number, that doesn't mean it has to be used, that's just a number.
Is this what we have on the uniforms now? Or is it just wording?
I think it's pretty much just wording, but we can make it say just Central County. The most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to our staff is that it's highlighted, because if they're working in the
Safety.
evening,
Mhm.
right, and then, you know,
Easy to identify.
it easy to identify, correct,
Mm.
correct, that's the most important thing. It doesn't have to have the emblem. I think what would make sense though is eventually the new emblem need to either put a magnet or something in our vehicles and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
trucks like
No,
that.
that makes sense.
That would make sense.
Okay.
But I think she just has a, I could be wrong, yeah, I think she just threw out a number.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it has to be, you know, completely.
Yeah. Kenny, you know what's on the current uniforms? Is there a logo on the current
The
uniform?
logo is up.
So this is on it?
It's on the back part.
But some of them say Central County Water Control District, is it either on the front?
It just is the CD, the CD.
Yeah. Now, we can keep it like that if we want to, I mean, like I said, we can.
Yeah. Well, I just wondering, that's what I was.
Oh, some stuff that goes in that 505 miscellaneous one is conferences, like what she's at now, travel, and employee reimbursement.
So, the 505 is what, say that again?
Conferences, travel, employee reimbursement. That's the note that I have on when I came out Friday and went over with her.
So, let me ask you this question, that probably draws a red flag to me, cause we went up, more than, what, 300%?
From the 8 to the 30,
Yes, ma'am.
I think most of that should probably be down in the contingency one. Because we didn't put anything down
So-
in there, me and her.
So what you just said right there,
Because in my notes of the sheets I went over with her, I left that one blank. So that last 990 account,
Mhm.
that and the 505 are kind of just, I put it as one, because they're the same.
because that miscellaneous, with some of the terminology you just used, some of that should be under 626, employee training.
For conferences,
Yes, ma'am.
we could put that there.
Training, seminars,
I think she increased that a little. That's just a matter of
well, here she
her
did.
coding and
Well, here it went from 5 to 7, but there's a dramatic increase in miscellaneous expenses from 8 to 30. That's about a good 300.
I think what's the,
It's 21.
I think that's why I told her the
we
number
spent,
was 21.
We spent 21.8 so far on actuals for miscellaneous expense.
Yeah, but we don't really know what that was.
No,
Yes, sir.
what I'm saying is that's where she's getting the 30 from. I think you're kind of rounding it, assuming that we're
There
gonna
are
have 2 more months of expenses on that.
I had that report and went over it we went over each line item and I was like, this is what was budgeted, this is what we have as of July,
Understood.
and do we think we need to increase or decrease?
Yeah. So, just, and I don't know if maybe the board agrees with it, but if moving forward, if we can bring up anything that goes into these buckets, cause it sounds like we got buckets for most of this stuff already, it's just coding it properly. Cause I agree, it should be in training, cause it is part of.
And it doesn't have to say just training, it could be training and hotels.
Related
And
expenses.
exactly.
Yeah.
It can be, you know, it can have its own little drop-down boxes.
Is that all conferences are for, is employee training, is there,
Again, we're trying to clean it up to make it, for us to understand it and to make sense.
well, I'm still trying to learn it too, so I wasn't
Yeah.
sure like if you go to conferences for any other reason.
Yeah, it's like training, like networking with other, similar,
Districts.
districts, you know, kind of talking to maybe her role with someone similar's role, you know what I mean? Or even if we attend, but it's always, I guess you can say it's some sort of training, right? You're developing yourself.
Correct. But I don't think that should come out of miscellaneous.
No.
For sure,
Yeah.
that, you shouldn't, I don't think for our training should come out of miscellaneous expenses. You should actually say, hey, we have this allotted,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That's why I think if I wanna limit those buckets as much, I'm okay with leaving them on, but I wanna limit those and kinda like
So
right
do you want
now.
me to lower that one and increase employee, training a little bit?
Yeah, I would say so, right?
I don't have a problem with it. I just like I said, I'd like to see whatever it is, we're not disagreeing. We just would like to see it more, hey, you know what, we actually spent $25,000 last year in actual, training personal development with our team. Because like I said, for instance, we wanna do skid steer, we wanna get CDL licenses, we wanna be, OSHA certification, MOT training, all that has an expense, so we would know, hey, you know what, all that came out of, training.
I'm gonna change the name of that account from employee training to personal development. Cause then if you guys go to something, you're not technically employees, it'll kinda encompass all of that.
On the line item 5 on the supervisor fees, what was that about?
That's you guys.
A big old check you get paid.
Yeah, man.
How about you mentioned on the 505, employees, reimbursement, for what kind of reimbursement? What's
I
that?
don't know, I haven't seen anything coded to that yet, I'm assuming,
That's, I mean, we pay for everything for the employees, no? I mean, gas.
Well,
Probably like if they drive their own vehicle, maybe.
Yeah, depending, well, it can even go for us, if you go to a seminar and you have to take, if you have to use your credit card, let's say for instance, you have to drive from here to the airport to go to a seminar in reference to Central County, you get reimbursed for that.
Or like a meal, if you buy a meal.
Correct. You have to produce receipts, of course, and this, that, and the other, but yeah, that's, reimbursable. I don't know in reference to employees, maybe there's not a vehicle that day, a truck, and they have to go to something,
Okay.
maybe they reimburse it, but I don't think she said she's seen anything toward it at the moment. But that's how you would use that. What I've
that's something
experienced.
you'd be paying them for that's not on their paycheck, that they've spent their own money for. And I've done July and August, I've never seen anything
Okay,
coded to
yeah.
that.
Okay. And how about the supervision for the, reservoir? Are we gonna keep that in there, or will they take that out, those 50,000?
I think it's out.
It's out.
It's
that's
out. You
what
see,
went.
the current year, it came out, yeah.
And the 1,200, 1,250, 510?
Yeah,
Security,
yeah, that's, I mean, I
I
think we
think
had,
because that was the cameras around here.
it could be, yeah, it could be.
Very good idea, security camera, that way,
Well, I think it's more than just the cameras, it might be like a monitoring service.
What was the increase that you did from year to year on the different line items?
It's on this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at so maintenance and rebuilding of roads, we got,
Oh, that one, so it's,
we got
390?
your 490, the current, or, next year's budget.
yeah, that one went up to 490 from 390,
100
but
grand.
then we lowered, I believe, the capital outlay resurfacing.
Cause you remember,
Or no, she increased that one too.
I think you remember, it was in several different areas. There was some here from this, and that, and that. There was like 3 different line items you could pull money from.
Yeah, I kind of put them all in one, and then it'll still be broken out for what's repaving, what's,
Lime Rock,
rebuilding the
Millings.
dirt roads, and then maintaining them, so you'll see each of them instead of it being all in one,
Yeah.
but there's subcategories of that one, so you'll see easily a quick whole number of what you spent on the roads. And I think she increased the numbers, cause she said there were a lot of roads that needed to be done.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I just wanna make sure it's not, being increased 100 grand because of the actuals.
I think I looked at the budget number, looked at the actuals, and then just her knowing what needs to be done, we came up with that number.
Okay. Yeah, because at some point we gotta start cutting something, cause it's,
Well, I think what we've told her to is use your budget with what you have. If we run out of millions, if we run out of certain things, that's what it is. Try to make it spread out over 12 months if possible. But, you know, if something happens, let the board know, cause, you know, if we have reserves or something going on, you know, we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
You can turn that air back on, it's only us anyway, but go ahead and turn that air back on if you don't mind. But yeah, that'd be the wisest thing to do, is try to, you know, spread over a 12-month period.
I guess I'm just looking at like our total, I mean, I get your point, but like looking at our total budget, like our budget is increasing basically, looks like we're increasing it a little bit. But our revenue doesn't really change. We didn't do anything on the revenue side.
No, we did not. It's the
It's
same
a
as
set number.
that
Yeah.
one, because we didn't move on.
Yep.
Other things have, I think, gone, or actually, no, probably most things have gone up, it's just that carryover that's not there. So it's just that prior carry forward and the contingency were both zeroed out. It probably is more,
Yeah.
which,
And that's kind of where I'm getting at is, like on our total at the bottom, we were 5.5 last year, but that also includes that contingency of 2 million, so let's just say our budget was 3 million, right? If you subtract, or 3.5, you subtract that, and this year we're at 4.1. If you subtract that contingency, that leaves us at, what, 3.7, 3.6? So we're kind of up a little bit.
yeah, both of those numbers from last year were zero, and this year are zero.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in that same 40,000 for the cover grant. The budget's almost the same. Last year's expenses would have been 3.47, this year's is 3.77.
Okay.
So it's a difference of $302,400.
Yeah.
And revenue stays pretty much the same. The only difference is the 30,000 out of the permit income. So last year's budget would have been 3.64, this one would be 3.61. And then out of expenses last year, the expenses were slightly less than the income. So it's like $172,000 difference.
Last year, or when you say last year,
It's
you're
last
talking
year's
about current,
budgeted numbers, not actuals.
but that's our current budget.
Yes, your current budget.
Okay. Talked a lot. But I'll let you guys do it now, bro.
I think also, as we're starting on a clean slate, don't take it personal, just if we can make adjustments that we all can understand it more. And like I say,
I feel like going forward, I'll understand it more
Sure.
too, so it'll be
But-
a lot easier.
but even if there's some items that come in and there's that gray area, where does it go? I think the board would like to know, so we can say, hey, you know what, we'd like it to go in such and such,
Mhm.
so we can account for it. So we can have a better understanding, a better grip of where we're at.
On the capital outlay, are we, so is Becky asking for the dump truck again next year?
Yeah, if you look at the email, there's some big ticket items there.
Yeah, I saw some quotes,
Yeah.
that's what we sent today, or, yeah, I think they were quotes.
Yeah, so we're looking at a skid steer here, I see, some type of mower, scan mower, a dump trailer, and then, I even see like a side by side as well. So we're looking, I mean, if approved, we're looking at some extra, that's why I'm asking, where is this going at?
I would say if we can clean up that part as well. Cause it looks like we got the dump truck line item and then we got general and equipment, 50 and 220.
But that's for this fiscal year, right?
Well, she's also, this is our next year.
Yeah, she didn't increase or decrease. I don't know.
So I'm just saying,
What
clean
kind
up
of
the,
stuff do you buy?
yeah,
What
to
would
clean up
you-
the actual names of what she's actually,
Understood.
you know what I mean?
Because the other ones are not there, so like for instance, the skid steer, let's say for instance, skid steer, dump trailer, where's that coming out of?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to,
I'm assuming general and equipment, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's where I would code it, because it's
Gotcha.
equipment, correct?
yeah.
And then in the description of it, it would say, hey, this is whatever, mower, this is whatever.
Yeah, I wanna get, I don't wanna be tight where if the quote is 220, we budgeted 220, that's not where I wanna be, but I don't wanna just throw numbers out there either. I wanna have a little science to the number, you know what I mean?
What were her estimates?
I think it's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
It's smaller.
Well, there was some, so for instance, there's only one trailer there's only one gooseneck trailer, so boom, that's what's gonna be. So that goosenecks, so they have gone down, dump trailers have gone down this fiscal year compared to a year ago. I don't have good reception here, so I can't even pull it down. Can you print those out, Kenya, by any chance, and give them out, distribute it to the team?
Which is,
All the equipment?
I'll have it to you tomorrow.
Yeah, once they know those numbers, we can adjust them, for those amounts.
That Caterpillar Financial, isn't that the one that we're done with?
There's one of them that we're done, right? With the Caterpillar? Is this the last payment? Do you guys know?
Looks like we already paid it.
When I went over those with her, she said those are your loans and that they would stay the same.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at your up to July,
Mhm.
we budgeted 49,131, and we already spent 49,130 and 82 cents. And I thought we were already done with, one of those.
How do you pay it? Is it a monthly payment?
Yeah, I think it was.
Would probably be
Caterpillar.
done, because I have not seen any bills in July or August that were for Caterpillar and I've only seen one loan payment of $70,000.
Which that was, I think that was,
And she said though that that's a once a year payment.
that was probably that bond.
I think
I think that's the one that.
I think it's a lease.
That's the one that went, yeah. Yeah, my tree.
Yeah, cause it looks like we might be done with the Caterpillar, cause then we can remove it over here. Cause it looks like we already hit our budget on the current budget, so anything else that hits, we would be over budget there as well. So I think we are done with it,
I'll check if that's paid off.
yeah. Trying to get some roads, I hear you. Um,
I'll be able to break up equipment stuff more once I get an equipment list and like understand what the stuff is that's around here. Cause right now all I know is that you guys have mowers or whatever a T750 loader is. So that'll be easier once I kinda know more.
Yeah, that'd be good. Some of that stuff, I mean, my big goal with it is just, one thing is, cause a lot of times, let's say that Mr. Mata's the operator, right, he may be like, hey, I think we need to replace this one. Why? Oh, it doesn't have a lot of power, but, you know, have we spent any money on it, right? And I just wanna be able to kinda, cause sometimes it makes better sense to replace something if we know we're constantly having, for example, AC issues, or, I just wanna be able to, you know, maybe the whatever equipment it is great, but we can't seem to figure out the AC issue, for example, and, you know, it's one of those things that's better just to get rid of it if it's a money pit. And I think breaking it down by equipment or equipment group at least would kinda,
So,
So some stuff I know I've quoted is the T750 looper, whatever that is.
yeah,
I'll be able to go in, and when we have these meetings, when you have a question like that, I'm pulling up your QuickBooks. I'll have my laptop while we have the meetings and be able to have your QuickBooks up already and tell you exactly like what those were. I can have them, if it's a large number or we're close to the 25, 50, or 75%, I can have it printed out with the meeting stuff of like, hey, we're at like the 25% mark and it's been spent on this piece of equipment. By the description, it'll lump the T750s, the mowers, the,
like a 25 or 50% mark
another
of the
thing I know I
budget.
quoted a lot too is Chevy.
Yeah. You mean you'll be able to tell us like whenever we hit that budget?
I'll be able
amount?
to like print it out and have it as a part of the report for you. So I can make the reports more detailed for you. You don't really wanna do it with your budget. 'Cause
Yeah, no, I get it, yep,
this is how, when I first printed it out, your budget would be this many pages.
yeah,
So you kinda wanna keep your chart of accounts clean, and then I can print
break it down.
supplemental stuff for you
which
guys.
is kinda, I think you were asking for like our budget, our meetings, our monthly meetings. And then the other thing too is it's kinda, you know, some of it is we don't know what we don't know, right? Like if you see things and you wanna bring them up in the meeting, and like, I think in my opinion, that's kind of some of the things that fall in your role, is just being our eyes and ears when it comes to that, you know, cause it's hard for us to, you know, sometimes go through all these pages. I mean, and you do, I don't know, I haven't seen any from you, but I think usually she would send them when you would send them to her and she would send them to us. And sometimes it's easier when you kinda already spotted like anything that pops out, if you just kinda wanna have highlights, stuff like that, that's stuff to bring up. Like something that you're like, hey, this.
So I try to get these reports to her within a few days to like a week beforehand, so you guys, and I just assume the process goes like I send them to Becky, she sends them to you guys. This way you could look at them before we come here, and in case you have any questions, and then I can also on my end, anything that doesn't seem normal, once I get to the root of it and figure out what's normal for here,
Yeah.
I can kinda, and then I already have a note that you wanna know when you start to get to the 25, 50, and 75% mark, so I can
Yeah.
highlight those things and have explanations for you when I come.
and I think you get on it and forgive me, again, about 512.2, which to me is the same thing as 840. So just wanna delineate. Yeah.
Capital outlay, she said is kind of, to do anything that's quoted to capital outlay, she said it takes board approval and it takes longer to get done, where this is the like day-to-day, hey, something needs to be done, we can go do it.
I think it's on the it's not on the depreciation side, cause anything that's capital gets depreciated over like.
Yeah, she said it was like the bigger things being done,
Where the top one is more like an expense account.
of like everyday things that need to be done. I think one of the things she said was old patches and.
Yeah, but you're not gonna spend $200,000 on cold patches when you're resurfacing a paved road. That's what you're doing when you're resurfacing a paved road. That means you're milling it down, you're prepping it up, and you're gonna put an overlay of it.
Yeah, she said, could we increase that one so it could be done quicker for like regular, everyday things, instead of having to go through the capital one.
So let's leave a question mark for 512.2. Rebuilding the dirt roads, I understand that, that's shell rock. Board, let me ask you something. If I'm not mistaken, we still get shell rock from one rock pit, right? There's other rock pits in our area, this is not the only one. I'd like for her to reach out to other rock pits.
Need some quotes.
Yes, sir. Because a load of shell rock is not cheap. We have mines on 82, we have mines on 80. And I don't think I think our due diligence is, and we have one at the tribe. The tribe sells as well.
We should be doing it on every line item.
What's that?
Yeah, I said we should be doing our due diligence on every line item. But yeah, I agree, that's a big one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money.
Yeah. Where are we getting it right now, do you know?
Bristol.
Richfield?
And he's not cheap.
No, no.
He's not cheap, we don't get any freight.
That's what I use in my house, so.
Yeah, we don't get any freight.
Mm.
So if you could, team, if you could then relay that message back there, we'd like to get,
Yeah.
other contractors. Yes, ma'am. There's probably some independent guys.
Rock, you said?
Yes, ma'am, Lime Rock, Shell Rock. That's actually more expensive than Mills right now.
Yeah.
But, and then, like I said, we'll rehash this, because resurfacing of paved roads, I don't see the guys going through $200,000 worth of, cold patch to do that.
These are-
The capital outlay, one thing, I don't know how we have to do it, but as you guys know, as we ride around our community, there's still some areas we pay attention. We're trying to pay attention to our master plan, and we've tackled quite a bit, but if we can budget 150, 200,000, I don't know how many miles that we can get or whatever we can get from it, but we do have some quotes, and I think, we wanted to be, it's apples to apples. So with the scope, like you say, clean up our scope of work.
Isn't that what the engineer was talking about last time, where it
Yes,
would be
ma'am.
like?
But a lot of times, if you ask for a quote, they'll just give you what they think. But if there's a scope, they can bid it according to the requirements that you're asking them to bid. I think that's one thing that, Mr. Cortez asked about last time. These are not apples to apples, and that's not their fault, because there's not a scope that their requirement that they're bidding. Exactly. They're bidding it how they think it should be done. So that's when you don't have apples to apples, and then we, like you said, well, I thought this was gonna come with this, and so we can take out that assumption if we give them a scope of work. Hey, and if we mess up, that's on us. We got exactly what our scope said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's something I've been asking for Mr. Bob to help with, because
Yeah.
I think none of us are, at least I'm not an expert in
No.
roads,
No. So like I said, we're trying to make allow the subject matter experts to do what they do best, and then custom to our needs as well. But allow you guys to present certain things to us on how we can make this better, more efficient, more effective, more enlightening to us, so we know exactly where everything goes. I don't know if you guys heard me, but in reference to this grant with this $4 million that we received from the state, we don't have $4 million in the bank to make this project happen. So it's not
What is
as
it a grant for?
for a pump station and culvert working and stuff like that, to replace culverts. But that pump station, you can't. So again, that pump station, as your contractor, as the design gets out and that contractor starts working, he's gonna wanna pull draws once he hits certain milestones. He's not gonna wanna say, oh, well, I'm gonna stop and wait for you to get money from the government and then pay me back. The company wants to demobilize and work like that.
That was one of the notes I had from when I went over with Becky, was possibly getting a loan or a line of credit.
But we need to know how it actually works. I don't want to hear how it works. I want to know how the line item works. And then we need to know the intricacies, how this grant works.
When did you get the grant?
About a year ago,
Almost a year,
a year and a half.
almost a year.
And then the other most important thing, like what we're doing now, what can we?
And who has the grant? Is that something Becky has? John has?
Ovid helped us achieve
I
that
know they
grant.
manage it.
Right.
If you haven't gotten paid for any of it, what does Ovid charge you for?
They're the consultant to apply for the grants.
They pull, I think they base it off a percentage in it, on, whatever this grant amount is, this is the percentage that we need to get paid for that.
Even if the grant hasn't paid you anything yet?
Well, it doesn't matter, if I'm them, I did my part, right? I did my part, I did my service.
Well,
I'm
that's some of
assuming.
the expense that has gone in there, cause I've seen Ovid bills.
Yeah, they're probably gonna build the same thing on a monthly basis.
One month it was 600, 500, 1,700.
I'm pretty sure there's a thing, because they have meetings with us, they have meetings, online meetings also.
Correct.
So I'm pretty sure people are billable. So they're tacking away from it, but my most important thing is,
So they handle, like, if you, let's say you had $1 million to spend on this, the $1 million you pay out to people, you tell them, and then they try to get it from,
no,
No, they help us get the million
they,
from the
they help
from the
us
government.
pull the grant. They're the grant writers, they're like the grant writers. Hey, by the way,
oh, so
Central
they're not
County,
the middleman.
no.
Okay.
They'd like to say, hey, there's grants out there, do you wanna go reach out and get it? If we pull that 4 million, this is what we're gonna be asking.
You have a fishing rod, fishing for grant,
They're the ones that know
fishing
that
for this.
how we, if, pretty much, hey, by the way, Central County is really good, scores really high, probably will score really high to get this grant.
Yeah.
They're the ones that will let us know.
So they're kind of like a lead.
Yeah, they find them and help us get it.
Okay.
They're headhunters.
We're the run with this.
Hey, consulting, man. Anything else, board?
I would like to have a, I don't know if you have it on there, but I would like to have equipment rental, line item for equipment rental.
That is actually key.
We didn't have it last year, and we already spent 200.
Well, none of that, service agreements with, I'd like to see service agreements for these rental companies. Because a lot of times, these companies will give you, hey, I can lock in this price for a year. Hey, if you need to borrow a skid steer because your skid steer went down, this is what it's gonna cost. Let's say, for instance, your long neck goes down, you know what, I've got it here in Fort Myers. We already know as a board, hey, by the way, this is the agreement we have with them. If we use them, boom, it's locked in. We know exactly what they're gonna charge us.
You do have an account for equipment rental.
But I don't think we budgeted anything last
Yeah,
year.
so it's not on the budget.
No, I think once we clean up some of this other stuff, I think that's a key one that should be on there. Because we have a lot of equipment and we should have some sort of contingency.
Not only that, again, a lot of these systems, and knock on wood, the guys have done an excellent job, the team has done an excellent job, but there's still belt-driven pumps out there. So like the one time we rented the Thompson pump to move water, boom, we know exactly what you would know, everybody in the board would know exactly where it came out of, hey, that came out of our rental.
Or if we're doing a job that we only need an equipment for this week, and that's it, it's not something we use every day, then we can have a,
So far I've quoted stuff for rental
3 point.
equipment. It's just cylinder rentals as of right now.
Or-
Next there.
those are,
But
they
if
call them
there was-
rentals, but it's.
If there was
it's a
other
gas
stuff she
station.
rented from, like, let's say Sunbelt that have over by me, that's where I would
United
code that
Rentals,
to,
yeah.
United.
Yeah.
I would code that to there.
Right.
We just don't have a set budgeted amount for it.
Exactly, so like for instance, as he makes mention, let's say for instance our team, you know what, we're gonna take on a road project, we have a dump truck down, this one's in this thing, boom, let's rent it for a month, cause it's always better to rent it for a month. Let's rent it for a month, we got the staff that knows how to make it happen, boom, 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 boom. Because again, to rent a piece of equipment compared to buy, maintain it, insure it, upkeep and maintenance, sometimes it makes sense to rent.
So you have an account for it, did you want to budget an amount for it?
I don't know, looks like we spent $8,000 so far, but I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, I don't know, 15, 20 grand.
Think
You could try it with
about
something,
the
bro.
So far, year to date,
You can start with something.
Yeah.
so you have to keep in mind too, the amount of money you have to spend is only as much as you bring in.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
we're
I think-
adding equipment rental, we would
You'd have to
have to
take-
lower.
Yeah, you'd have to lower a few things.
Yeah, and I think there's a few items that we kind of question too, like that Caterpillar financial that's in there, and a few other items that can probably help. But yeah, you have to cut something, and I mean, you can probably talk to Becky about some of that as well. But I think it just makes sense, we have way too much equipment to not have some sort of budget line item for, as a backup,
I agree with that one.
Yeah, I have so far for this year, you spent tractor and equipment rental.
Yep.
But that's November through June of things that I don't know what they are.
And that's what was actually recorded under that line item, we don't know what was recorded somewhere else.
Could be a light tower, it could be a generator, it could be all types of things. that
United Rentals, Pure Water Partners, so it looks like United Rentals, you rented something for
We did,
$7,200.
yeah, we rented that pump.
Big majority of.
Yeah, we rented that pump to move water.
Those are the only things under there. And then Pure Water for $125, so a big chunk of that 8,000 is the United Rentals and then those cylinder rentals.
Yeah, I just wanna have some sort of line item on it. Cause it's true, sometimes there's jobs that, you know, we won't get done because our, I don't know, our excavator's down, our skid steer's down.
It shouldn't stop, it shouldn't hinder.
So that'll show on your
Yeah.
financials, which you could see it on those. I could put it in the budget and maybe take away from, that would probably be miscellaneous expenses.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we have, at least start with something, and then next year, if we need
Tweak
to
it.
adjust it, you know, we'll adjust it, but it just, cause in my opinion, you know, the power unit was one thing that we rented, you know, the pump, but sometimes we'll stop a project for 2-3 months because we have a machine that's down,
It
right?
shouldn't stop us.
And then we get questions like, hey, you know, the county doesn't do nothing, and, you know, they've been working on this for 3 months, they've been working on this for 6 months, and,
Because this went down,
yeah.
that shouldn't stop us.
It's always because of this or because, right, and I would like to have something, and I know it's gonna affect other items, but I think equipment rental is, we
Key.
just have too much equipment to not have that line item. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts behind
It
it.
shouldn't stop the day-to-day operation.
No, yeah.
When they can deliver it and you keep the
Well, I
product
mean,
moving.
and the other thing too is even though it may look like we're spending a lot more money because of now we're having to rent equipment, you also gotta remember, let's say it's a 3-month project and you started and you only did 1 month. Now you got a group of workers, employees that you're trying to figure out where to put them at now, right?
Sure.
So even if it's a day or two where you're like, oh, let me move them here, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
go ahead and knock it out.
Sure.
Sometimes it could be the weather, right? This is the only time we can do it, but now we can't do it until next year because of the weather.
Yes, sir.
Whatever that
Take
is.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So even if it's, I don't know, 15, 20
Yeah,
grand, I think.
you can start off like a 15K for sure.
And I think if we have something like that, it can probably change a little bit or start trending in the right direction of how we're operating some of those projects, you know, when we're
I agree.
working there.
I like it. I like the trend.
Yeah, so those are some of the items that I was saying, like if, I don't know, let's say that once we're in the new budget and we're going through our stuff and everything's kind of going through you, if you see something like that, hey guys, I put this here because that's what it is, but we didn't budget for it, or, you know what I mean, like just stuff like that.
And also with all the stuff that's happening, notice costs are going up for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely know. So we're definitely gonna have to trend up as well because I definitely see a lot of stuff not getting any cheaper. Anything else? That being said, thank you everybody for coming out this evening. The third and final budget meeting is adjourned. Thank you everybody.
I put these numbers in for you and then please